So in this video, we're going to look at another type of special column that you can add to Adaptable. It's not the calculated column, which is the most frequent special column. That's where you create a column whose value is based on a calculation you give it, depending on other columns and evaluated by Adaptable QL. Instead, we're going to look at this thing called a FreeText column. And that is a column that is essentially standalone, and it can contain any data that you give it. So it doesn't use a calculation, it uses, as the name implies, free text data. And the advantage is this column is stored with your state, is stored with your adaptable state, your queries and your conditional formats and your calculations and your charts, etc., rather than with the data source. So the typical use case is if you have a data source that comes in and you want to make some comments on it, you might think a price is too high, or you might think a counterparty needs some explanation, then essentially you can create your own data which refers to the real data source but is kept separate. And you can see three examples here. So here we've created three in this demo. One called comments, and you can see that creates random string comments. One called order code, and this is a number column, so I can obviously edit this if I want to. And you can see here we've given it a default value. When you create, as we'll see in a minute, a free text column, you can give it a default value. And the third is this one here, which is a date column. So again, if I want to put in a date, I can, and then it comes in here. Before we create it, there's a couple of things to say. The first is these are typical columns once they're created. So for instance, if I want to, I can format this date column here to have a date format, say just of the day, and then that will appear. Or if I wanted to, I could format, say this column here to say that it's all going to be in, I don't know, let's change the style. So let's say we want the back color here to be blue. In fact, let's quickly let's not do that. Let's edit the one we just created, because it's quite hard to see if you've just got blue. So let's set the fore color to be white. So there we are, three free text columns. If we go into the code, we can see them here. So this is the first one, which was comments. We've said that the data type is a string, and we provided it up front with three values, the three that you can see here. And essentially they use the primary key. That's how everything gets matched up, because every adaptable instance has a column with a primary key. Then essentially what we say is, in the row where your primary key value is X, this is what the free text value would be. And then we've got one called order code, which we know has got a default value of 1, 2, 3, and it's a number. And finally, we've got this one, last spoken, which was for dates. And again, we gave it a date. So let's create one ourselves quickly. If we go into free text column, you can see these are the three that we've created. And obviously, we're able to edit them if we wanted to. Let's create a new one called demo. Let's make this one demo FT. The default type is a string. We can keep it as a string. You have got the ability to use a large editor if you want to, if you have to kind of input lots of text. And as you can see, you can add additional, certainly you can add a default value. That's what we did for the number one. And then obviously if you want to, you can still make it filterable and resizable and groupable and treat it like any other column. So there we are. We've created a new free text column called demo. And then if I now go into my layout, and I edit my layout, if I go into columns, there's my demo FT. And if I say now bring that to the front so we can see it, there we are. Here's our new here's our new free text column rather, and I can put my own text in it as much as I want to. And as we said, these four columns now, demo FT, comments, order code, and last spoken, they will be stored with the adaptable state and not with the data source. So there we are, free text columns. They're not used as often as calculated columns, but they can serve a very useful and important purpose if you want to sort of add your own bits of data to your kind of underlying data source, which obviously might be read-only and which you might not be able to amend. As always, thanks for watching. If you'd like to know more about Adaptable, you'd like a personalized demo, or if you'd like a free, no obligation trial license, please get in touch and we look forward to hearing from you.